Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to make your template for a wheelchair quilt. So I'm making an adult-sized wheelchair quilt, and it's going to be the full size. So not one that just comes to someone's like torso, but it'll go behind their shoulders and then go all the way down to their ankles. And so I'm just using an old tablecloth, but whether you're doing the adult size or the children's size, you'll follow these steps and then you'll adjust it later as you need. So it has to be at least 50 inches wide. If you're doing the adult size, it'll need to be 70 inches long, and for the child size, it'll be a little shorter, but you can look in the book. I've got all of the measurements there for that. Okay, so fold it in half, and then you're gonna make a mark right here in the middle that's like at your 25-inch line. And go ahead and open it up. Okay, so this is gonna end up looking something like a hair cutting cape when we're done. And so when you're doing the template, you want that finished hair, like the hole for where it'll sit on the recipient's neck. So that's what we're making right now. So measure down from that top mark you just made and make a mark at 10 inches. Then you're gonna connect those two dots with a line. Okay. Now measure down 9 more inches and make a mark. Okay, we're not going to connect those dots, but now I want you to come down here to that lower dot and line up 2.5 inches with that dot. Okay, so I've got, here's the dot I just made, here's my 2.5 inch mark. Now I'm going to move this up so it's roughly in the middle of in between these two dots that we just made, and I'm keeping it so that my 2.5 inch line, like you could draw a line between the dots and it would go through this 2.5 inch space. Now I'm just going to make 2 marks, one at the 5 inch and one at 0 inches. Okay, so now I have these 4 points, and I'm going to just roughly connect the dots in an oval shape. This is the part you're going to cut out for the person's neck. Okay, and now we're just going to cut along all those lines that we drew. When you're doing this to the actual quilt, it feels a little scary, but I'll show you when we get there. So cut the oval. There we go. There we go. Okay, so now you're ready to bring this to the recipient. And what you'll do is bring with you like a pencil and maybe some scissors, and you'll just place this on them while they're in their chair. And these flaps will go behind their shoulders and they'll lean back on the flaps. And then when this template is hanging, right now it's just a square sheet of fabric, but I'll show you the one people who originally designed this template gave me when they sent it across the country. You can see what they did was they just drew with like a Sharpie where they wanted it to fall, where they wanted the quilt to land while she was in her chair. And then later they came back and they just cut that so that it's just the right shape for the recipient, for the person you're making it for. Keeping it out of their wheels, and I will show you how to do the armholes a little later. Thanks. Okay, just a quick update on if you're doing this quilt for a child instead of an adult. Just some ways you can adjust your template if you try it on them and it's just way too big. You can cut off some of the space up here so it doesn't hang so far down behind them. But this space on a child will probably go from their back down to like right at the top of their pants. And so if the recipient doesn't like that, then you can take that off, but I think it might just make it all around warmer. Also, instead of cutting this at 9 inches, you could cut it more like 6 inches so that this hole is smaller. But what I would do is make the hole this big, and then when you put it around them, I would just put some kind of a clasp right here, whether it's, you know, 2 strings that you can tie, or a button, or something that as the child grows, if they want to, they could just unpick the strings or the buttons or the Velcro, whatever it is, and move it back so that the quilt can kind of grow with the child. So those are just some options that you can think about, and it really depends on the preference of the person you're making it for and on the size of the recipient. So those are just some things to keep in mind.